What's up, everyone? It's ChelloC, and welcome to the ChelloC Podcast. And today we have a special guest, a longtime friend of mine, Glock9th. What's up, bro?
What's poppin'?
Welcome to the podcast, man.
Really appreciate it, man. It's an honor. It's a pleasure. It's a huge pleasure.
Yes, sir, bro. Yo, it's kind of cool that now you done blowed up, bro. Like shit is crazy.
I ain't blow up.
You done really blew up, bro. You got 1K subs, bro. I pull up into your Twitch, bro. You got 15 people watching at any given time, bro. That's a come up. That's a come up, man.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Man, I'm here blessed.
Thank you.
Fun fact, bro. This is honestly not even our first podcast. This is like our third podcast together with all things included. Like, I think we've had two other podcasts. I think one was called What's Commentary and No, it wasn't Unfiltered Talk. Wait, did we do What's Commentary 2 different times? Did we like
I don't remember. That's a good question. There was 2 of them, but I don't remember like how it all went.
Yeah, like we had one with Barley.
We did one with Barley?
Yeah, we did one with Barley. Barley was one of the people that we did one with, and then the other one was with a guy named Gluff. I don't remember what the name of that podcast was with Gluff, but I know that we did have What's Commentary, and that shit was popping, honestly.
It was.
That shit was honestly popping. I was around the time when Keemstar was like doing his thing and stuff like that, and we had a lot of different. Honestly, I remember we had pranked you about Battlefield because you was a big Battlefield fan. We had like stories about Battlefield to just like torture you and prank you, bro. Like,
y'all
that
ain't
shit
shit.
used to be funny.
Y'all ain't
That
shit.
shit used to be funny, bro. But yeah, so we're gonna get straight into this podcast. But before we do, make sure that if you're new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also click the like button. It helps the channel get into the algorithms, and make sure you turn on notifications because who doesn't like to be notified when I post? But yeah, let's get straight into this, man.
Yes, sir.
Let's get straight into it. So our first story for today, it seems like Call of Duty is out here with the shits, bro. And there's elite gameplay going out. There was a streamer who was streaming and he got access to the alpha gameplay, or he was playing the alpha because a lot of YouTubers are playing the alpha. I think the multiplayer reveal is happening tomorrow, September 9th. So I think that they're having a lot of the YouTubers and different influencers play the game right now, so that whenever the multiplayer reveal gets released, we're just going to start seeing an influx of different gameplays. And this guy just had some gameplay on the side playing on his stream by accident and ended up giving everybody a sneak peek into the gameplay. Me personally, I don't like the way this looks. I did provide a link for you, Dom, if you haven't seen it, but the gameplay looks horrible, and I think it's just because it's alpha content, but it seems like a mix between Black Ops 4, Modern Warfare, and Black Ops 1. Modern Warfare for more of the engine style. It seems like there's a time to kill that's more like Black Ops 4, and it seems like there's more of a style and aesthetic to like more of a Black Ops 1. And I don't know how I feel about that one.
I don't think there's actually anything wrong with that. So I'm actually watching this as we're having this whole conversation. I actually wasn't originally aware of this, but I do kind of see what you're talking about. I think that Modern Warfare's time to kill was ridiculous, especially all things considered. So for the fact that there was no dead silence as a perk, and the fact that people were just running around and that camping was basically the meta, you died like way too fast, in my opinion. So the fact that if they are increasing the time to kill, I'm not mad at that. Like, I believe that in gunfights, right, in shooting games, there is no defense to bullets. You're getting hit. And so I think that the only thing that can save you is your actual reaction time. So having a really low time to kill for someone like me, that's a turnoff, unless we're talking like Siege, or we're talking like, a game that's like a tactical shooter where, there's a balance to it all. But in a game like Call of Duty, if you're just getting melted, dude, nah, I'm good on that. So that doesn't actually turn me off. The Black Ops 1 kind of aesthetic, I'm not against that either. Watching this guy run around and play, I think that it is very reminiscent of Black Ops 1, almost like a remastered Black Ops 1. And to me, that's actually more of a turn on than a turn off. I was really hoping that they didn't go like a World War II kind of way, or they didn't go just a really colorful, or just like a way that would take away from the seriousness of the tone. That's all that I'm happy about. Like, this is actually like Call of Duty. So I'm not mad at this.
And I do actually like the fact that there is a lot of colors in this gameplay. Like, I do like to see like the more color, because when it comes to Call of Duty, especially Infinity War games, I don't know why, but it's like they're afraid of color. Everything has to be brown and and black and gray, and I like the fact that Treyarch is sticking with the colorful aesthetic. I agree that I love a higher time to kill, as it does promote more skilled gameplay and gunplay. I don't like Black Ops 4's time to kill. I just think that was a little overkill. Like, I think everyone had 200 health. I don't think that you have 200 health in this one, but it does seem like it does take a long time to kill. I would like to hope that they don't go the whole route of Black Ops 4, because I think when you have that much time to kill, you're not playing Call of Duty at that point. You're playing like a weird Halo baby mix. Like, it's like a weird Destiny Call of Duty had a baby type situation. I don't like that long of time to kill, because it just seems like everyone's just jumping around trying to see who can put the most bullets into a person. And I mean, it is a gun skill type of thing, but I don't think that Call of Duty had that much gun skill at any point in its life cycle. I don't think that who can land their shots the perfectly is more about positioning. It's more about tactical awareness, and just the amount of time it took to kill one person, it doesn't fit well for me. Like, I think one time I had told you, when we were playing Black Ops 4 and we went to Modern Warfare, it's almost as if you get better at placing your shots in a game in like Modern Warfare after you play Black Ops 4, because you're just so used to like shooting people for so long and trying to place your shots in the best way that you can. But I don't know, I don't like that type of gameplay. I will say though, if the time to kill is more like Black Ops 1, to where like it takes a long time, but minus the horrible hit detection that Black Ops 1 had, I think that it could be good. It could be good. I don't know what throws me off about this game. I think it's still like that. I think it's probably just because it's alpha gameplay, and I don't think that the game is finished and finally tuned yet.
I'm watching the gameplay like as we're speaking, and as from what I'm seeing, the time to kill is a little bit reminiscent of Black Ops 4. And let me add on to that for a little bit. The thing about Black Ops 4 is the time to kill, yes, it did get increased, but so did the weapons. The weapons in Black Ops 4, everything is broken. Like, there's not a weak gun really in Black Ops 4. There's some guns that perform worse than others, but everything in that game is really strong. So people die usually in 3 to 4 shots, 4 to 5, unless you have a gun like a Spitfire, which is usually 5 to 6, which is really no different. Honestly, I think it's more of an illusion that's created when they say like the health is like up, and it makes people think they're shooting people forever, because the weapons are so strong is to the fact that it's still like traditional Call of Duty to me. I think the only time that the health is really a problem is in team-based games when you don't have a team with you, because people ride in death balls. But outside of that, I don't think that anything else like that is a problem. Like in free-for-all, I do very well in free-for-all with multiple people, and I'll be fine. And I think that a lot of what they're trying to promote is a team play, because of how strong the whole death ball, strategy is. So outside of like all the excess going on, I just think that the time to kill in Black Ops 4 and from what I'm seeing in this game, I don't think it's unhealthy. And I think that a lot of players, if they can adapt to it, they will actually start to see how much fun it actually is. Because to compare it to something like a Halo baby, I think that's a little bit dramatic. I think that Halo obviously has way more bullets going out, and I think the pacing of Halo is what really adds to its balance, because in Halo, like, yeah, you take hella shots, but you can't just run away. You got to take that. So same thing with this in Black Ops. Like, like if you're on someone's ass and you're in a gunfight and you're winning, you got that, right? Unless like some like misfortune event happens, like random C4, right? So I'm not really seeing that in this gameplay. It looks like a lot of these gunfights are very balanced. I think that I'm actually excited for this. This looks really dope.
I mean, I hope that it turns out all well, and honestly, I'm more excited for the zombies, because if we're going back to Black Ops 1, because from what I've heard, that this game, Call of Duty Cold War, is more of a Black Ops 1 sequel than Black Ops 2 was. It's more like a direct sequel. So like, it seems like we're going to be going back to those days. I wonder if they're going to bring back the crew. I doubt it, because they said the last map that was there was their last map. So I wonder what they're going to decide to do as far as zombies go. Like, I feel like this could be a great way to take it. One thing that does worry me is I do see that they still have that aesthetic that Black Ops 4 had, where it seems more arcadey. It seems like, more like I don't know, it's hard to say, but like you have the health bar there, and I would like to hope that they don't bring that into zombies like they did in Black Ops 4. Like, you can tell, like in Black Ops 4, the multiplayer was arcadey, so they kind of made zombies a little bit more arcadey. They had hit markers, and when you played with the zombies, the HUD was horrible. You had a health bar. They gave you 200 health off back, no jug. I wish that they probably don't bring that into the Call of Duty Cold War. I would like to hope that the health bar stays out of the game. I would like to hope they don't bring the health bar into zombies, and I would like to hope they will go back to their roots with this one. as it's more of a direct sequel to Black Ops 1. So I would like to hope that it more plays like a Black Ops 1 Zombies, because it is kind of worrying me.
I feel like with zombies, I think that Black Ops 4 took a really huge risk with the changes, and I don't know which way that zombies is played that I prefer. I really find it interesting, actually, that they removed jugs and instead just gave us the health that jugs would give us, and that they gave us the ability to choose between so many different perks. Now, what I can say is that the majority of perks they left us with were very useless. I felt like at times I didn't even need them. I feel like just give me Deadshot Daiquiri, give me Bandolier, give me the Salmon Up, and give me there's one that allows you to die and like basically like survive for a little bit. I forgot the name of that one, but just give me those four, and every other perk to me just really didn't even matter. Like there's like one where if you stood still and got a whole bunch of kills, like a wolf would spawn. Like I don't know what. Yeah, there's some really useless perks that are in there. There's also one that promotes like camping play styles, where if you stand still, like your character's like shielded or something like that, and like as long as you're in that like little field, you do increased damage. But like the maps don't really promote a campy play style, so it's like it doesn't really help. And I really didn't like the map design of a lot of the maps that were there. But outside of that, Black Ops 4 Zombies is actually pretty dope. I agree with you with the HUD too. A lot of the things actually took up a lot of the HUD, but the idea of the health bar, I wasn't really against that, because especially like whenever you're like in question, like it really helped you out. Because there were situations I remember, like when we used to play Black Ops 3 Zombies, where we took some damage and we're running and we get hit and we're like, that killed? You know what I mean? It's like at least now I can gauge where I'm at, and I'm not against that at all. I thought that the elixir system was kind of weird too, but as a whole, outside of like all the like little things, I thought that Black Ops 2 was actually pretty dope. Black Ops 4, I'm sorry, was actually pretty dope zombies experience. I wasn't against it at all.
I felt like the experience was cheapened, and I don't know, like it just seems like the experience that was in regular zombies like Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, it felt like there was a certain amount of class and a certain amount of time given to the maps. And I feel like Black Ops 4, there wasn't as much time. I don't feel like there was as much thought. I don't feel like it was as much fan expectation placed into it. Like they didn't care what we thought about what they were putting out. When I feel like in the other games, there was much more thought put into that. But then again, it might just be change, and I don't like change. But I do feel like the perk system, it cheapened what the perk system was like. Like for example, in other games, even though we would beg them for other perks that were included in other maps, they only kept it to maybe 6 or 7 of the same perks. And if they did add one, it would be Widow's Wine or whatever the case may be. But it seemed like they kept it in a condensed form to where these perks were the ones that they wanted to include. And then like Black Ops 4, they just included these creative class perks where you pick between a range of 12 meh perks. Maybe 4 of them are okay, and you can put them in your creative class slots, but it's like no one even cares anymore. It kind of made perks cheap. Like no one cared about them. I can play a whole game of Black Ops 4 and never care to get a perk. I never really care to buy one. I'm good. I pretty much have jug. I'm fine. There's no reload. There's no quick reload. It seemed like every perk had a use in the other zombies, but like every perk here don't really, like the use is kind of like just for cheap gags. Like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool. A wolf spawn or whatever the case might be. But like in the other games, you had double tap. You had yeah, my bad. I'm tripping. But you had speed cola. You had all of these different perks that actually made the experience better for you. You can reload faster. You can take more zombies down with less bullets. You can take more hits. You can be revived instead of ending the game. I just felt like it made it very cheap. But then again, like I guess it's whatever you like. I just wish that they would go back to regular zombies, because it gave me a reason. Like there was a progression in the game. Like you had to get enough points to get jug, because you needed jug after this certain round, or you had to get quick revive because that if you're playing by yourself, you might go down at this certain round. Like it was a sense of progression there, where it just seemed like in zombies you were just going through the rounds, you were going through the motions.
Right. And I agree with you, right? And because like you said, there was a lot of just meh perks. And that's why what they were trying to do, I agree with as far as that all goes, is the fact that there were a lot of requests for a lot of different perks in zombies, that you can only have so many perks on a map. So this was a way of kind of like picking and choosing what everyone wanted, because everyone had different feelings, right? Like, what was it, like PhD flopper or PDH flopper or PDF or however you ever say it? Yeah, you know, a lot of people wanted it. Some people didn't see a use for it, right? So everyone's happy. You can include it or you can not include it. I just think that, like you said before, that the perks that they had to select from were trash, but the idea behind it, I actually really appreciate. I think that if they implemented it in this new one and they actually had perks that were useful, and didn't like lame out the experience, that we could actually get something here that would be really interesting. Because the one thing about Black Ops 4 Zombies that you can't say is true to like almost any other Black Ops Zombies experience is that you could fully customize the experience of zombies in Black Ops 4. You can literally do things like make the box only spawn snipers, only spawn pistols, etc. You can change how much money you have. You can change the behavior of the AI. Like, Black Ops 4 gave us so much choice, and I think that that was amazing. So I would never be against a developer giving the player the option of freedom. You know what I mean? Because like when you play like Black Ops 1 zombies, you're restricted, dude. Like, because my thing about zombies, what I used to hate about playing games, was that I had to start at wave 1. I don't like slow moving zombies. Like, dude, my skill level is beyond this. Let me play straight into the game. Let me get to 10 like right now. Let's get it. You know what I mean? But now I gotta go through that whole slow thing. I gotta turn, you know, like fuck all that. But Black Ops 4 allows you to get past all that. So I'm not gonna be mad at
Black Ops 2 did that too. Black Ops 2 also did that.
Yeah, it did it, but it didn't give us as many options.
It definitely, Black Ops 4 definitely gave you like a huge playground to do with what you want in zombies, and I'm for that. I'm definitely for that. I'm definitely for that sandbox experience. I just think the way they went about it was a little because, for example, Tim Hansen, he made a good point. Like, World War II did what Black Ops 4 wanted to do better than Black Ops 4. They got rid of Jug as a crutch perk and they just added shields, so that if you wanted, you know, shields pretty much replaced Jug, so you didn't have a perk for Jug, you just had shields and you can go buy more shields. And I think that would have worked better, as long as you were able to keep that progress, which World War II was able to do. Like, there was still progression in World War II. You still were able to go buy Speed Cola, you were still able to go buy Quick Reviving, and they even included even more perks that were kind of like meh, and then some that were useful that you wouldn't see in a Treyarch Zombies game. And I think that should have been the route that they went, instead of, you know, just completely getting rid of Jug and just giving everybody 200 health. And I think, like, for example, what bothers me also is the fact that I know that the only reason why they went that route mostly is because they were going off of the Battle Royale system. They pretty much made Black Ops 4 just for Battle Royale. They used their engine was pretty much built around their Battle Royale. So the whole HP and the armor system, I think that's the reason why they overall went that way, and they hit it behind, oh, you want to get rid of crutch perks. But that's just background information that came out later on. But I think it's a little scummy. I don't like that. I wish they would have just kept it in, or at least if they did it, they did like World War II. But that was a bit of a tangent. I'm not gonna lie, we kind of went completely off there.
Sure.
But then again, I do want to say that Cold War, like, I'm excited for it still.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm a little bit it's a little bit sketchy to me about the extra health. But then again, all Black Ops games had extra health, and I love them too. I love Black Ops 2, and that had extra health compared to a lot of Infinity Ward games, so it's not that bad. But the internet really didn't like that clip. But I hope that it still turns out to be great. You know, they've been having a lot of production issues, especially with COVID-19. They've been having to make the whole game from their home, so I just hope that it doesn't come out as a buggy mess or, you know, unpolished game.
I feel you. You know, I feel like, you know, recently Activision as a whole has been like messing up really badly. But I also feel like it's really Infinity Ward's fault. I have a lot of faith in Treyarch. If Treyarch can't do this engine right, I'm done. Because, you know, like, I know like Call of Duty is stuck to the same engine for a long time, so I don't think this engine is going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah. And I'm really happy about this engine, bro. Like, this engine is probably, I wouldn't say it's Battlefield level, like it's not like Frostbite level, but it's still pretty dope, you know, and I can't wait to see what they do with it. And I can't wait till the first game that they actually put a lot of time into, like Treyarch actually put a lot of time into to make a great game. I can't wait to see that game.
For sure.
But it might be this game after a couple of updates. But I know for damn sure they better figure out a situation about these large ass file size, because I'm not about to be downloading Cold War and it's about 300 gigabytes on some damn shit.
You know, like, Infinite Warfare allows you to delete areas of the game that you don't want. Infinite Warfare, Modern Warfare, I'm sorry, allows you to delete areas of the game you don't want. So you can remove the campaign, the Spec Ops, whatever. I only have multiplayer installed, so that did a lot for me.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, you can actually uninstall them from the main menu.
What is the file size?
Currently I don't know, but all I know is before I couldn't install Black Ops 4, but then I removed everything I could. So that should be very telling, because that's like 60, 70 gigs right there.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go straight into this next topic. The internet is going crazy over GameSpot and their tweets that they've been making. So to give a little bit of back information, I guess that GameSpot got a sponsorship by the National Guard, I believe it was. They got a sponsor by the National Guard or the Army or something like that, and they decided to make a tweet for that sponsorship, so that because they get paid to tweet things, because that's how the sponsorship works. And I guess since they tweeted about the National Guard, people aren't so happy about that. I don't really understand the hate, because like, I understand that war, a lot of people don't like war, and a lot of people don't like the things that America do, but at the same time, being a National Guard or promoting the National Guard or promoting the Army is not a bad thing. You know, it should actually be rewarded. How do you feel about this, Dom?
I guess I don't know. I mean, if they're being sponsored by them, I think that they're doing their part. They're supporting them the best as they can. I don't think there should be any outrage for that. That's a business move. And supporting the war, like how is that supporting the war by getting a sponsorship?
I don't know. I guess it's just like, I guess people are seeing it as you're supporting, I guess, them asking for more people, and your GameSpot is more known as a gaming place, so therefore it might have a very young audience. So I guess they're promoting joining the Army to a young audience. I guess I'm not really sure where the rage is coming from. It doesn't make sense to me.
I feel like we're in a time now where a lot of people are very sensitive to like anything, right? I think that this is probably the most informed generation we've ever been in. So I think that people just see things and everyone's just developing opinions on things really quickly. Number one, I think that if anybody wanted to go into a military branch and they decide to do it, I doubt GameSpot would be the place that people would be like, oh, dude, GameSpot said, you know, this, that, and third. I want to join the Army now. Like, they're not getting people just fired up to join the military. So people who are being outraged are, to me, being outrageous. Like, I'm not really worried about that. I don't think that people who feel some type of way about it should really take too much in consideration, because 9 times out of 10, no one's going to just join just because of GameSpot. I'm sorry. Because if they had any interest in the Army, they're going to join the Army anyway. That's just how I feel about it. I remember whenever I was like in high school and a recruiter wanted me to join the Navy, and I was just very like on the fence about it. And he was really pressuring me. I'm talking about called me 3-4 times a day. Like, he really wanted me in the military, just because obviously they reach your quota. So, you know, me not really even knowing if I wanted to go, just completely turned down the offer. I never even told him maybe. I just said nah. I just started ducking him, because I didn't want to join. So if somebody's real life peer-to-peer pressure could not really make me feel that way, I doubt GameSpot's doing anything to anybody. I
think a lot of this is also going off of the pressure. Like, I think 2 months ago, I believe it was, the National Guard or the Army were running promotions on Twitch streams where they would type in the chat, if you want a free Xbox, click this link, and pretty much people would go to the link and it would just be an ad for joining the Army. Or I think they had to sign up for something, and it would like pretty much enroll them into like this list of people that would get contacted when they were old enough to go to the Army for an Xbox, you know, like, and they didn't get the Xbox either.
So like, I feel like, okay, even in that situation, no. If I went to a link and I went there and this link was not an Xbox, I'm clicking off, first of all. Second of all, even if it was like deceptive, like you get the Xbox once you sign up, right? Even if it was like that, and they did sign up and they contacted you later, it just goes back to my same point. If they're not into the military, they're not joining the military. Unless this was like direct deception, and by signing up for this Xbox you enrolled in the military, that's completely different. But by that point, that's illegal. So you can't do that anyway. You can't just like trick somebody into joining the military. Like that's not how we work. So that's very interesting. I wasn't very aware of this, but I still think it's very corny and it looks very desperate. I don't know why they're so desperate, but I don't think people should be worried about it promoting war, whatever the case may be. I mean, I guess, okay, objectively, yes, it's promoting war, but I don't think it's a very effective method. So to me, it's safe to say it's not really promoting war. I don't think people are like, you know, you're in the military and people are like discovering how they got there, right? Like somebody's probably there from high school. Some people are joining because of their family. And then how many people do you really think are going to be in the military? Like, yeah, I joined because of Gamespot. Like, yeah, I joined for an Xbox. Who joins the military for an Xbox? Like, what?
Like it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. It's just a lot of outrage that, like you said, a lot of people are just reacting, and a lot of people they're able to get their opinion out so fast because, you know, of social media, and everyone kind of has a platform. You know, like if you have like 200 followers, you're kind of popping. Like you have a lot of people that you're able to put your opinion out there for. I've realized that, you know, social media is really dangerous. You know, a lot of people haven't seen it yet, but it's very, very dangerous. And what you put out there is there forever. So a lot of people, they may have an opinion that they may not agree with forever, but because this is what they feel right now, they're putting that opinion out there. And I don't know. It's a very weird situation to be in, but I hope that this outrage culture like settles down eventually. I feel like I hope that like it becomes uncool to be outraged about things. I mean, like that could be toxic too, because that means you're just gonna have a whole generation of, you know, literal pussies. But at the same time, like this outrage culture stuff is just like, it's ridiculous. It's literally ridiculous, and we gotta start cracking down on that. I think that it is starting to slow down compared to like 19 and 2016, especially 2016. But I'm turning into a robot. Yeah. All right. So sorry. We had technical difficulties on this side. I don't know what happened. My mic started messing up, but yeah, man, this outrage culture is ridiculous, man. But we're gonna just go ahead and go to the next topic, because honestly, I don't like talking about outrage culture. It makes me outraged, honestly. So that's a bit of a predicament I gotta get out of. But on to the next topic.
For surely.
On to the next topic. Madden sales are up 20% from last year, which is kind of ironic considering that this Madden was the worst rated Madden ever, and I guess it earned a Metacritic user score of 1.4, which is very, very low. Very, very low. A lot of even Madden fans were like, yo, this Madden is trash. And you could tell they just kind of ported over Madden 19 and made it Madden 20. And you know, it's sad to see that even though everyone is universally hating this game, it is still selling more than the last year's game. And if you don't know, Madden 19 was one of the best selling Madden. So for it to go up 20% is ridiculous considering it's the worst one. How do you feel about this, man?
I don't play Madden. I don't play anything with 2K in front of it. For that matter. So I don't really have much of an opinion, but what I can say is like, did y'all really think y'all were playing something different? Like,
for real, it's always been this way. Like, people like to compare Call of Duty, but it's like, no, Call of Duty has a new developer every single year recreating, like making a new Call of Duty. Like, y'all are literally getting the same fucking game and they're changing the sweat mechanics, and then y'all are like, yeah, this is new, but it's not. It's the same game, bro. Like, it's literally just like, you can't compare this to Call of Duty. We're in two different lanes, bro.
Oh
like,
my god, dude, he's at the
always
sweat
been a
mechanics.
conversation.
And
yeah, like, bro, it be getting on my nerves, man.
I feel like right now with quarantine, everything is going to go up in sales. No one's moving. You know what I mean? Like, outside isn't what it used to be. So, I mean, like, you know, it going up in sales, I mean, it's surprising, but it's not surprising. It's just like, I mean, cool, whatever, right? It went up in sales and it's the most worst review game. And I think a lot of people are just getting into Madden because, like, you know, I think I've been feeling this too. It's like the longer I've had time to just sit at home and play games, my games are becoming very boring. And I'm at the point where I'm just buying things just because I'm bored. And that's a habit I'm trying to break. And I think that maybe that might be the case. I don't know. I'm not really like big on these kind of things. But I'm just saying, like, people being mad about what Madden is, that's kind of ridiculous. You're playing football. I mean, like what's really happening? It's football. You know what I mean? You're tackling people, whatever the case may be. I mean, about the most I think you're going to get is updated roster. Maybe some new game modes, something like that. I don't really think you're just getting a whole completely new package every time you unbox.
Don't forget the sweat mechanics.
Oh yeah, and some sweat.
don't forget the sweat mechanics, bro.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you're really just getting some extravagant thing. Like, you knew what you're getting. You're getting football. If you weren't happy when you bought football, then why did you buy football?
It's ridiculous. I spoke about this last podcast. My last podcast, not one of my favorite podcasts because I was rushing that one, but I will say one thing that I touched on in my last podcast was that we have to practice voting with your wallet, bro. You have to practice that, because at the end of the day, when you don't vote with your wallet and you just buy things because you can't control the impulse of buying things, all you're doing is telling the companies is that I want more of this. I want more of this trash. You're giving me trash. Give me more of this trash. I love the trash. This garbage is what I want. And you have to exercise your right to not buy things. We live in a this country is a country built off of capitalism. What is beautiful about this country is if one company decides to say, no, you can't do this, I'm not going to give you this, well, then you can go to another company and give your money to that company that will give you what you need. That's how capitalism works. And I believe that gamers, because this is our hobby, and to some people this is our addiction, we can't hold for 2 seconds. You know, like, one thing that I love about gaming is if a game comes out and I hate everything about it, but it has a cool concept and I want to experience it, what I like to do is wait till the price drop. Sony has so many sales, like you can just come across a game that was $60 and then all of a sudden it's $2. I think every year I get 2K for damn near free. I get 2K for $2 every single year because I just decide not to buy it. You know, I think a lot of people just need to exercise waiting till the price drop, because what that says is, okay, they like the concept, but they're not willing to pay $60 for this. So therefore, let's make it so that it's worth paying $60, you know?
Yeah, for sure. That makes a lot of sense. And yeah, you're definitely right. I 100% agree.
Like I remember, like I said in the last podcast, I bought Anthem for $12 last week. $12. Anthem was a $60 game. It was trash from the jump. I've always wanted to fly around in the world. I do want to play the game. I've always wanted to play the game, but I didn't feel like it was worth $60, especially with all of the gripes and critiques that everyone had. I didn't feel like it was worth my $60. I didn't feel like they put in the work and the effort to make that worth $60. So what did I do? I waited. Now the game is trash. It's complete garbage. I think I overspent even with $12. But the fact that I waited, that price to drop, I feel like I got more of my money's worth by spending $12. I would have been really pissed off if I would have bought this at $60 because that game is garbage. But I'm glad I waited, you know. And I feel like more people should exercise that. If you don't want to, or at least if you gotta buy the game and you're okay with buying it full price and you still want to pay with your wallet, instead of paying directly to the game owner, instead of going to Sony and giving them your money, instead of asking for a new copy of the game, go to GameStop and buy a pre-owned copy of the game. Why? Because GameStop receives all the profit off of pre-owned games. That's how they make their bread and butter. So instead of giving the money to Activision, like for example, when I bought Modern Warfare, instead of giving the money to Activision, I paid $60 to GameStop. So they can't get that money from my purchase. And I also don't buy microtransactions. Just vote with your wallet. If you don't like something, vote with your wallet. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, facts.
Like, you have to. It's annoying. Like, it's so annoying for people to be like, oh, I hate this game, but they buy Madden year on year. They buy Madden year on year. They participate in the Ultimate Team. It's annoying. But on to more EA news, and I think this is our last topic. Our last topic for the day, we have EA news about EA trying to place intrusive ads into UFC 4. Sorry. And I guess the UFC community got mad and they decided to take it out. But it's crazy that companies are doing this, considering that they're charging people $60 to play their game, and they're adding in small little ads to like supplement their monetization plan for the game. I believe 2K did this last year also with 2K19. They started adding ads into the 2K experience. How do you feel about it?
I think like adding ads into your game, it kind of pushes like what I'm saying about a lot of games nowadays when people are not understanding. I've been saying this for a very long time, that mobile games are going to ruin everything. Like that's really what it is. These mobile free to plays, I think a lot of developers are getting ideas from them because of how successfully some of them are doing. And I think that, you know, mobile games having a free to play game with the ad that circulates while you're playing the game, that makes a lot more sense, because I don't think the mobile game industry is as big as like console gaming industry or PC gaming industry. So them making their bread off their ads alongside their microtransactions, that's completely fine, especially because a lot of mobile games you can play 100% and never spend a dime. So if their only way of making money off of you is just an ad, that's fine. When you add them into your $60 experience, that's a whole different can of worms by that point. You're not in the same field as these free to play mobile games. So why are you treating your game like that? And if I have to respect your game like that, then you should drop that $60 price to a $10 price, and we could talk ads all day by that point. You know, I'm not really too mad at it. What are these ads promoting? Microtransactions?
No, the ads are promoting they were promoting a Netflix series, I believe.
What?
So it's pretty much like it was
oh my god, so it's not even helping your fucking game. You're just putting it.
Nah. They were trying to say like it's an immersion type of thing. So like if you're watching UFC, then you'll see an ad pop up for a few seconds.
So wait, you're trying to tell me I'm realistically knocking people out, putting them on the ground, doing like realistic controls for grapples while I'm on the floor, and they have to add ads for fucking like while I'm fighting people, like I'm looking at ads.
Like for real.
What is I'm actually reading the ads. I'm just pressing like, oh my god, just an ad for net. Like
exactly.
What?
They've actually been doing it years, just not at the scope of what they've been doing it now. Because like if you play any sports game, no matter if it's NASCAR, you know, NBA and NFL, like you'll see like they'll have like an advertisement for Monster, like in the stands, like, or they'll have like in the like they try to make it as real as possible. So they might have an advertisement for Monster on the side, on the bench, or print it somewhere on the court or something like that. But now they're just taking it a little bit too far, because now they're taking real ad. They're pretty much having their customers pay to see ads, you know, and it's trash, because like I'm not paying $60 to see a 30-second ad that you're getting paid for.
Yeah. You know? My question just being though, is it EA or is it the companies? Because you know UFC, NBA, NFL, these are not EA platforms, right? So like, is it anything to do with the business and their sponsorships and the fact that their name is associated with the game that they have to do this?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so. All of those things are owned by EA. So like this is an actual contract that EA is taking to place into the game. It's not anything to do with actual NFL or NBA. It's something that 2K or EA is doing on their own stance.
Okay, that's whack.
From what I know, yeah.
If
it's just
EA
another
is
way to
doing
monetize.
That, and it's just kind of like, what is the gain from this, right? Like that's the real question. Like, are they getting anything out of this? Because it's just like, if you're not, then you're really just like ruining your experience and wasting your time all at the same time. Like people don't want to see that.
I'm sure they're getting a lot of money from it, because like if you think about it, they have their figures for how many people are playing their game at once. So they go to a company and they say, hey, look, we have 30 million people playing in one day. If we can play your ads at least twice in each game, that means that people are seeing your ad over 200 million times in a day. So therefore we think that that's worth this amount. And I think that they may be getting paid a lot of money for that, because like even with just YouTube ads, you're not touching that many people.
My question being this too: how annoying are the ads? Like, are they all in the middle of the game? Like, do you have to like press like an X button to verify that you've seen it before you start?
No. It's kind of like how ads are presented in sports. Period. Like for real. Like it's not like, I'm not talking about like the actual ad breaks. I'm talking about like when they start ads between like let's say someone gets knocked out and then a replay happens. Right after the replay, you see like a little 5-second ad for the Netflix series.
Bro, that's
like
nothing, bro. People are just being too extra. If EA has to make their money, bro, first of all, let's just keep this in mind. This is a business that we're talking about after all. If it's like that, that's not that big of a deal.
I think people are arguing the slippery slope of what's going on, because I could see how that's a bad thing. If we say that's okay, so then next gen, what if they introduce the fact that ad breaks are happening? So like every quarter of an NBA match, every time we go to the end of the quarter, there's an ad break where they show us 2 30-second ads, like it's Hulu or something like that. I think it's a very slippery slope.
So didn't you say they took them out, right?
They did take them out, yeah.
Right. So that obviously means they're listening to their community, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. After they got outraged, they took it out, yeah.
So then that means that we just set the boundary. I mean, I just feel like, okay, if they're making their money and they're doing their thing like this, okay, cool. There's like this little thing. But if they start adding actual ad breaks, then that's when it's kind of like, bro, look, listen, the little 5-second little slide thing for quote unquote immersion, great, wonderful, awesome. You know what I mean? But if we're talking like breaks, that's doing too much. Now you're really pressing the envelope. But I think that for that in particular, it's not that big of a deal. They have to make their money how they got to make their money. And I think that for a lot of people, especially the one thing that I've always hated about like where we're going, and this is a really hard thing to say, because I don't fully 100% agree with what I'm about to say. I just agree with the majority of what I'm about to say. Is that the worst thing that gamers could have done is get involved in business with the gaming, because it's to the point that games are being completely boycotted because of like what one person did or a decision that might not even be made, and the game already has like a negative image or something that may have existed in the game, and people got all involved in the politics of who did what and who said what, and then that situation gets changed, and now the game is still being hurt from it, right? Like, and this list can go on and on and on, but like when people start getting into like the mix of, oh, they put an ad in here and and me as a gamer, I feel violated in my regards and my rights, and the fact that I spent $60 and whatever the case may be. Now I see this little fucking slideshow, like it's like a 2-second like little snippet of like, and before we show you this replay, here's 1 second of a fucking Netflix logo, right? And you're upset about that, dude. You have too much time on your hands. Like I can't visualize how that would make someone like me upset. If I'm playing a game, right, let's say I'm playing basketball, and let's say I make a shot, right? You know how like the little strip on the bottom just kind of like goes and it's like fucking like words and shit? That's like the equivalent of like when I make the shot and they show a little cutscene of your character kind of running, feeling himself and shit like that. If I look down at the bottom and saw them advertise like Netflix in that text, I'm like, oh, did they just put an ad in my game? Like,
yeah, I feel you.
I think that's going a little too far. I think that's doing too much, honestly. This company has to make their money. And I mean, like, don't get me wrong, like, EA is notoriously greedy. I'm not even trying to justify EA as a company. I know EA is like trash as hell. But it's just something like that. I can't stand behind people on that one. That's a little bit too nitpicky for me.
I feel like honestly there is an argument there, and I think now that the news has settled, I don't think that it should continue to get hate. Like this was just a topic that I placed in, but I think that the fact that they did fix it is good. But I think that the outrage was very warranted. Like but at the same time, I do hear where you're coming from, because UFC, they did take out their monetization efforts. Like they did have a lot of monetization efforts, and they took them out of this game because of the outrage it got in the last game. And I think that because that happened, they should give them a little bit of leniency in trying to monetize the game, since they kind of took out all of the Ultimate Team crap out of the UFC. So I see where you're coming from. They have to make money somehow. If y'all made them take out the Ultimate Team stuff, then y'all should allow some things in the game. But I see the slippery slope though.
Like I said, I think that if they're at least listening to their company or to their consumers, then I think the company is doing their job, right? That's the main thing. You're listening to your masses, right? So if they listen to their masses enough to say, hey, right, like, they don't like this, they don't like that, we probably shouldn't have this or have that, right? Then that's dope. And that means that we can set the boundary, right? Like, okay, I don't mind your little 3-second little slide before, the replay. But if you're going to really sit here and like between round 1 and 2, make me watch a 30-second commercial, that's completely different. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's when you draw the line, right? So nah, I think like I get you, right? Like, I'm not even trying to say that you're wrong in what you're saying, because that's what gamers will do. They'll take advantage. If you let up for a second, they're going to open up and they're going to do something crazy. But again, I just think that it's fair that we just, keep all things considered. They got to make their bread. And for that reason, be aware of the company too. But also be aware of yourself. So that a way, like, they don't just go overboard with it. But nah, I don't think they even would do something like add like a commercial break, because I think by that point, even they would realize they're just being a little ridiculous. I think they are kind of aware of what kind of like, consumer base they have. Like, take an example for like Battlefront 2, right? Which goes back to my other point about gamers getting involved in politics and things like that for like games. Like Battlefront 2 had like the worst kind of like start, and the whole thing with the star cards, but they went back, they got all that stuff fixed. And there are some people who never experienced that game, and because they've never experienced it when it was out fresh, brand new, they have no desire to go back and play it, all because of a bias that they have subconsciously, more than likely, over the game from like way back when. That's not even the same thing. And this is the same thing with games like we have right now, where some guy might see this stuff and get outraged and then start telling all his friends like, yeah, I mean, the game sucks, they're putting ads over our fights, his friend won't get the game, and they'll never experience the game even though the situation has been resolved, because people just get like way too wrapped up. And not to say to not be aware, but just like getting so deep into it, like just like so deep into it. I think that everyone should have the ability to make an informed decision. I think that people should be aware of what they're getting themselves into before they get themselves into it. But when people get so deep to the point that it's like it becomes almost like a petty kind of thing, like, oh, like they're not doing this like they did last year, so I'm not buying this game, and now I'm going to go and trash the game and give everybody else the same opinion that I have on a public platform. Like that's when it's becoming too much, and it's kind of like y'all kind of like whining by this point. If it's just like a little slide of like a Netflix logo, or Netflix $3.99 a month slide, and then into the replay, then what's the problem?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from with that, man. I definitely do. But that was the last of our podcast, the last topic we had, and I know Glock got somewhere to be. He got a lot to be doing right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. But I want to thank you for joining my podcast, man.
I want to thank you for having me on your platform. This is dope. This is hella dope.
Bro.
And
Bye.
Really, you really need to start like getting on the game more, because your long neck ass ain't been on PlayStation in what fucking 300 years.
For sure, bro. Hey, man, these podcasts take a lot of time to edit, bro. I'm not even gonna flex, bro. This shit takes forever. But yeah, I really do appreciate you, man. Thank you for joining my special 5th podcast. And yeah, man, really do appreciate it. Go ahead and check out Glock9th's channel. And if you came from Glock9th's channel, go ahead and subscribe to me. That would be greatly appreciated.
That shameless plug right quick. Hold on, let me
yeah, hold on. My shit ain't too bad. You can go ahead and subscribe and turn on post notifications. You wouldn't like to be notified when I post. But yeah, man, I really do appreciate everything. And yeah, that's the end of this podcast. Thank you guys for watching. And it's been boy Cello and Glock. I'm out.
Peace.